ZS6IP is standing by, and I acknowledge George on Zoom. Okay, 1903. ZS6IP is still standing by for further check-ins. $19.04, second last call for check-ins for this evening's weekly net. ZS6IP is standing by. Pia, quickly, just unmute yourself there. Tell me something. You've got some of the Kenwood TK range radios, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got a TRC-80.
Okay, so you got the TRC-80. Are you open on 11-meter band on that radio? Is it blocked out?
No, I am open.
Okay, so you can do the fulls up to 30, no restrictions. Eh?
Yes, yes.
Is it type approved?
I've got no idea.
Okay, well, when you get a chance, just check if it's got a TA number sticker on it somewhere. Right, mute.
Okay.
Okay, 1905, last call for checking. ZS6IP is standing by. Okay, nothing else. Good evening, everybody. And as I said earlier, I trust everybody as well on this rather warm and humid Sunday evening at 1905 on the 6th of February 2022. Thanks for joining the net. I'd like to remind everybody that this net runs every Sunday evening from 1900, can run for anything up to an hour, depending on what we are doing. Currently, due to COVID, that is what we are concentrating on, and we might cover one or two other sort of aspects that have an effect on communities at large. Again, I'd also like to remind everybody that is listening and that has not called in, please don't be shy. I would appreciate it if you did call in and at least let us know who is listening. I know many of you are listening, and as per usual, those of you that like to record what it is that I have to say, due to controversial matters, please ensure that you have got sufficient time, or at least let me put it to you this way. At least I am giving you sufficient time with the opening of my net on a Sunday evening for you to prepare your recorder and to ensure that you are ready to hit that record button. So please do not forget to do that. This is the HF portion of social media. Yeah, we do not like and subscribe. Yeah, we press and record. So on that note, I'd also like to remind everybody that is listening, you do not need to be a member of any club, any entity, any body or otherwise to join the net or to use the amateur frequencies. Sorry, ZS6IP is returning after that frog. I've got to find that Frenchman. As I said, you do not need to be a member of any club, any body, any entity or otherwise to join us on this net. For that matter, you most definitely do not need to be afraid to use any frequency for which you have an approved ICASA license, because that is the only thing that entitles your or gives you the rights to use the frequencies. Okay, let's quickly check and see how everybody is doing. George, I'll try and double up for you. We'll see how that goes. But let's start at the top of the list with a quick greeting. ZS6 FPS. You can give it to ZS6 SNY, and then you can give it over to George, and of course I'll do the double there. George, it's time to bring out the baseball bat and get your radio up there. ZS6 FPS in the group, or the net, ZS6 OPS.
Oh, great. Thank you very much, guys. Good evening, Adrian and George, and everybody else listening. Of course, as you all know, here on the West End, we have lots of rain, and Victoria has been underwater and all of that stuff. Apart from that, everything's fine. That's also my side for the one. That's Adrian. There is a why from there is FPS.
Okay, George, go ahead.
Right, ZS6 OPS in the group, ZS6 GRG. Yeah, things aren't looking good my side with regards to my I think in a QRT, but the Chrome Dry, Mulder's Drift, Lanceria area seems to be hit with a syndicate that specializes in removing transformers and cables. It's been going on and off almost repeatedly every 48 hours, without power for another 48 hours. So the people that live on the farm are very frustrated. And last weekend, for the first time, I had absolutely no power. No power on the laptop, no power on the cell phone. That's how bad it was. Yeah, sure. Okay, I've only got one panel, one solar panel. But I plan on getting some more because it looks like it's repeating itself. I have not seen police vehicles on patrol. I don't know where to go from here. Other than that, work-wise, everything is going cool. And the other thing is, if you have cloud cover, which we've been having all over the country, you just don't get power. So yeah, I got stumped last weekend and this weekend with regards to power. I'll just have to upgrade. I have no choice. ZS6 OPS in the group, ZS6 GRG.
Okay, ZS6 GRG, ZS6 OPS in the net. Good stuff there, George. Yeah, no, that is a problem, this power. And then, of course, on top of that, we've got the issue of the load shedding that, of course, has been taking place, which hasn't helped matters any. And fortunately, they did lift the restriction from, or lower the restriction from level 2 or stage 2 to stage 1, which has made life a little bit easier, because I must admit I also lost a fair bit of work time during the course of this week. Okay, moving on. Let's have a look. First and foremost, I think we need to cover the tropical storm, Batsarai 22, which has been hovering over the east coast of Africa for almost a week now. And of course, Batsarai has made landfall on Madagascar. All those beachfront towns have been destroyed. 90% of the towns have, or at least 90% of the towns has been destroyed. Not 90% of the towns themselves been subjected, but wherever the damage did occur, 90% of the towns were in actual fact taken out. We're still waiting to hear what the death toll is and what it's going to be like. A lot of the assessments were only going to be carried out during the course of today and tomorrow. So by Monday, we'll know more or less what the figures look like. Now, fortunately, the tracking of the storm as it came over Madagascar and headed towards Mozambique, it seems to be hovering between Madagascar and Mozambique, and the tracking and trend seems to indicate that it is going to turn left and head south, which is going to hopefully miss the better part of Mozambique. However, KZN is going to be subjected to some high winds, the northern part at least. It could extend all the way down to Durban. The forecast there is that they're going to experience some high winds and a lot of sea activity taking place across the coastline. So we'll have to monitor and see what happens with that one. Then, in addition to that, of course, we've still got the high heats that are being experienced down in the Cape. Once a dus, always a dus. Okay, so going on, ZS6 OPS returning after the timeout timer. And of course, again, arrogance in the background there with beacons that are not supposed to be operating in this section of the 2-meter band. But moving on, as I was saying, we've got the high heats that are still taking place, so we expect it to continue in the Cape region, Western Cape in particular. So, you know, we really and truly are having some rather adverse weather conditions in the country all round. And of course, as George mentioned earlier, the high rains and fortunately, the wind hasn't been too bad at this stage, but cloud cover, very grey, very overcast. Those with solar panels are definitely battling to keep the batteries charged and equipment running. Okay, ZS6 IPS returning after clearing that that leg that's still in the back there, that frog's leg. Yeah, rainfall, I must admit, Rex down in Aikenhof has been reporting on average 100 millimeters of rain overnight, every night that it's rained. I know my side, we've done 30 and 50 and 25 and almost 80 mils. So yes, we've had a fair bit of rain. Then, of course, moving on, we need to have a look at what's happening on COVID's front. This again is still not looking very good, even though the South African government has now adjusted the level 1 disaster management regulations, allowing for shorter isolation and conditions with regards to, you know, if you are asymptomatic or not. And basically, in a nutshell, if you do test positive and you're not showing any signs and symptoms, then of course you don't need to isolate at all. But if you do, you can isolate for 7 days and not for 10 days, as we have been expected to do so over the last 2 years. Now, on the global front, the figures, well, before we look at the global front figures, let's just continue to look at what has actually transpired on the South African front. In essence, what we have seen is the number of new cases per day have been below about 3,500. I see the figures today is just over 1,500 new cases that's being reported in like a 24-hour period. The death toll also has been extremely low, definitely below 50. I think tonight's report has indicated something like 11 deaths or 1 death. It's extremely low at this stage in terms of the South African figures. However, on the international front, and this for me is the concerning part as to why internationally all the countries are reporting high numbers and we are not. So where do we stand? Our figures at 1,900. New cases or cases that have been reported since the outbreak of COVID-19 is 393,912,824. Z6OPS returning after the TOT. So 393,912,824. We are still up 20 million new cases in the last week. And as I've been mentioning over the last 2 or 3 weeks, during the first 2 years of this pandemic, globally, we used to average between 3 and 5 million new cases. So it has quadrupled, if not more, on average globally. I think also, as I've said before, the home testing may very well be contributing to the higher numbers. And unfortunately, I have never seen anything with regards to home testing in terms of the South African concept of COVID-19 management at all. Whether this is intentional or otherwise, I personally don't know, and I am not going to comment on that one at all. Okay, so outside of that, nothing else happening. For those of you that did follow the incident in Morocco where a 5-year-old fell down a well, got stuck, and of course rescuers were unable to reach the young child. They pulled a similar stint as what we saw in, where was it? Was it not Cuba? One of those, Pierre knows he's not talking, Chile, that's it, Chile, when the miners got stuck underground. And what they did in Morocco is they actually dug a tunnel virtually at 45 degrees to where they expected to find the young child. They did manage to get oxygen down, and for 2 days this has been ongoing, and I see the reports have now come up that unfortunately young Rayan has succumbed to the ordeal of being trapped for so many hours. You know, we're talking here 48, almost 72 hours as an entrapment, and I think that there's a bit of a shocker. Hats off to the first responders and the rescuers, and for digging the tunnel and being able to pull that side of it off. Unfortunately, as I say, young Rayan has lost his life as a result of his fall. This again highlights the point, and I think all the listeners out here, the Z6OPS returning after the TOT should in actual fact take into account that while we are on our normal day-to-day activities, when we do come across manhole covers that are missing, fire hydrant covers that are missing, look guys, I fully appreciate and understand that it is going on or it is part of the shopping list in some circles. However, these particular manhole covers pose a major risk to many people, including or especially the elderly who might go out for exercising purposes. And you know, if you inadvertently put your foot into one of these holes, you are going to end up with a very bad fracture of your fib, not to mention you might in actual fact fracture virtually the whole foot and ankle itself. So for the elderly, yeah, also please be careful. I know we do have a lot of it taking place around all the towns, as George said, throughout the country, grey skies, and besides potholes, missing the manhole covers. So what can we say? Okay, on that note, let's check if there's any questions. If so, just give me a call sign. I'll pick up. If not, we'll check and see. I'll leave a bit of a longer gap for any other late check-ins. Otherwise, I'm going to be closing the net. Right, questions. ZS6OP is standing by. Okay, no questions. Any other late check-ins? ZS6OPS. Right, nothing else heard. Thank you guys for joining the net. Thank you to everybody for listening. We'll catch you next week. Same time, same place, and of course Zoom will be open as well. If you would like to join us on Zoom and you are listening, don't worry about it. Just send me a WhatsApp message, 082-859-2684. I'll give it again, 082-859-2684, and I'll send you the Zoom link and you can join us on Zoom. Especially for those amateurs who are not yet licensed, but may very well already have your listener's license, meaning you could in actual fact be listening, but are unable to participate via Zoom. You definitely can, and you can get involved with us. For the next week, of course, due to COVID, don't forget to wash your hands on a regular basis, sanitize often, wear a mask in public, and physically distance yourself. If you are meeting family, then yeah, meet them outside. For those of you that are romantic enough, remember Valentine's Day is coming up. I know that a certain company with the name of Delta or starting letter Delta would normally have had some adverts up, so I can't advertise. However, in this case, due to COVID, I definitely recommend the physical distancing. At least you don't need to support the company with the letter D. You can rather put that money towards maybe an extra rose or two for the loved one. On that note, have a good week, be safe, be prepared, and of course, be happy. ZS6OPS releasing 145.625 for general use. Cheers all. Okay, so Adrian's a little bit confused about not spending money on Durex condoms. The penny just dropped.
No, but you don't need Valentine's Day for that, eh?
No, but this is the time of the year that the Durexes were really or should be pushed.
Certain guys, we must actually supply them with Durexes. They should never procreate.
Oh yeah, no, I know, and I think that goes to 90% of the radio amateur community. Only thing is they're already fucking 90 years of age in the shade. Eh? Okay, guys, I'm gonna call it. I'm gonna say cheers. I am going to go and watch TV. I've had a shit long weekend, and I see that the meeting is about to end in any event.
Okay, guys.
All right, I'll catch you next week.
Yes, have a good one.
Cheers, Pierre. Pierre, don't forget the light, eh? The LED.
Yeah, no, we'll come visiting you soon.
All right, it'll be a short visit because you're going to socially distance outside, eh?
That's fine. That's perfect.
All right, good stuff. Cheers,
Okay.
Pierre. Cheers, George.
Cheers, everybody.
Bye, George.